Hello everybody, we're making a video for you today for the book Message from a Teen in the Spirit's World, The Big Journey by the Spirit Neio Lucio. We are continuing with our book. Today chapter's name is Work. And last week we talked about the lessons. This book is such an amazing book, explaining to us about the spiritual realm and what happens, especially to children that disconnected. And the boy is Carlos, who wanted to write a letter to his brother explaining his experience about his illness, disconnection, and also what he's been doing in the spiritual world. And then today, work. After our lessons, which are always pleasant and instructive, we are often taken to a huge workshop where we work on compiling teaching materials for the young people taking upper level courses. This work is always supervised by wise instructors for our new realm of action. In this way, our duties are of immense advantage to us, because we are fulfilling our responsibilities while at the same time preparing ourselves for more important tasks. We must pay such careful attention while performing our work, however, that Zacharias, one of our more daring classmates, decided to respectfully question one of our directors. Does everyone work like us after they die? Why not? The director responded, smiling. It's just that we were taught while on earth that after death we would only find eternal rest. If we were good, an eternal punishment if we were bad. Zacharias said timidly, "That is an illusion people have," the instructor explained kindly. People are continually interested in creating illusions to deceive themselves. Most incarnate people in the earthly realm can't hide the mistaken desire to enjoy something without having put forth any effort, to receive benefits without providing them to others, or to rest without having worked. At this point of his explanation, he smiled good-naturedly and continued. In light of this fact, most of the children who arrived here bring deeply rooted problems with them. They were extremely ill-behaved at home. They became slaves to excessive care, and they avoided the little responsibilities and duties they should have attended to around the house. When they are surprised by death, they suffer acutely at readapting, because life goes on, pure and simple, demanding work, effort and goodwill from each one of us. Those words stung my conscience. I remembered my old state of affairs. I saw myself once again at home, clamoring for everybody's attention without any desire to be useful to others. I don't know if the same happened to my classmates, who were attentive but downhearted as they listened to what the instructor was saying. I only know that I felt an inner sensation of shame. After a break in his remarks, the instructor continued explaining to us that only bad and uncaring people look for ways to avoid work. That work is given to us as a true blessing of light and peace. Finally, he urged us to remember that Jesus, as a child, worked in the carpenter shop shaping pieces of wood. This giving us an example of the right way to employ our time as children. He also stated that if we had been educated in the spirit of work at home, we would not be having such difficulty in readapting in the spiritual life. I must confess that I am in full agreement with that point of view. This is a beautiful chapter about work. And there's a few things that Carlos actually mentioned here that can be of great use to us. The first one of those are when Zacharias actually told the instructor that on earth he asked that if everybody that goes back to the spiritual work, if they work. And he says, of course, why not? And then Zacharias told the instructor that on earth, most people believe that if you are good, there is eternal rest, and if you are bad, there is eternal, how does he say this? Redemption? Yes. And the thing is that is how I grew up. I grew up with a heaven and hell, and as spiritists we know that this doesn't exist, that everyone has an opportunity to better themselves. But also when we continue with this lesson, we learn that we should help our children to know what work is, like responsibilities at home. Small things are practices for the soul. And it's not, I know that sometimes we want to do too much, and it says here that if children are spoiled, they don't know how to work, and they don't know how to look after themselves as well. So in small things, like making their own bed, like having a routine in certain things, will help them not only to learn things, but to have this constant obligation or thing about doing something at home. And it is our duty as parents not only to explain this of rest and what is, and especially in this book, this is so very important for us to actually have this book and explain to our children what Carlos in such wonderful ways are explaining to us about death and about the spiritual world, and what Carlos are revealing to us for not only the children but for us too, to say that we need to work, that the spiritual work is only an extension of this life. And he says life goes on, like we know the book Life Goes On. It is a continuation of what we are doing now. So if we look at ourselves, then we can ask ourselves this question: what will I be doing when I return back to the spiritual world? What can I contribute as a soul when I go back? And then that is a great question to see where we at. Are we serving other people? Are we helping them to learn to actually work as well? Not only just doing everything for everybody, but to help them working together, especially working together. That is a beautiful thing. And then also to educate ourselves. We know that the last chapter lessons told us that we should always educate ourselves. Vanessa spoke about that only in some places in the spiritual realm will we be able to read books or be educated. The point is that when we now have the opportunity to read and educate ourselves, to practice certain virtues, and we should actually take the chance. We should actually now be in this mindset of educating ourselves to read as much as we can, so that it can be in our soul, because we are taking all this information with us when we disconnect. It's going back with us. And I love the story about one of the countries in Africa that doesn't have spirits books. We are so fortunate and still so thankful for Kodak Radio and Vanessa, and a lot of friends. I still get the letters when I take a book sometimes, and see the letters from everybody who gave us these books, and we are so thankful. But there are actually people that doesn't have these books. They don't have it, and they had to actually learn the whole Spirit's book to know it, because they can't read. There's only one book, so they actually learn the whole book, which is great. That it should be an inspiration for us. That is the way of study, to actually know it, because what is in our mind is what we can use in certain times. If we don't have it, it can't be used. And so it's a great thing to educate ourselves, and also to continue the work. To spread Spiritism. This is the most important time on earth, I think, for us Spiritists, to share these messages, to especially in this time of fear and of anguish and of everything that is going on. We can tell them that it's okay. We can actually share this beautiful, great messages that has come through the spirits, that we can share that everything is fine, that we should not fear death, that we should work on ourselves to be happy, to be useful, to work in any way that we can to help one another and be inspiring as well. And this is, and actually Carol said that his point of view, he actually agreed with it. And it's true, we should in any way try to help not only the children, but inspire one another through working together. And this is what Kodak Radio is doing. And this is why we are so thankful for the spirits who encourage this, so that we can not only learn but share with one another, so that we can learn together, and so that we can share together, and so that we can help one another focus on all the good that is here. So thank you so much for listening to this and following this book. This is really a great book. And then next week we will continue with this book on organization. So thank you very much. May everybody be blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye.